Just a quick guide in changing the gear cable on the Trek. As I said to you in previous videos, this was a bike that I went and built just last week. Got the frame for about £250. Obviously the wheels for 80 quid. And basically over time just eventually built the bike up together. Previous video showed the first Frankenstein bike I built. Sorry it's videoed in the living room, but just because of the weather conditions outside I have to do it here. So basically what I'm trying to do just now is everything's all connected, as in brakes, Kodar brakes, lights at the back as well. You know what I mean? And basically the gear's on at the end. Now the problem I've got, it's not really a problem, but taking it off the old gear system and putting it on is a SRAM Speed 11, sorry. Now it's the GX model, if anyone knows that out there. But just a quick long story short, obviously I had it on the bike already with the previous old cable inside it, this one from the other bike, but clearly it won't fit because it's not long enough. It's got a wee end like this as well, if I can just zoom back a wee bit. Okay, so basically when you take your gear shifter off, you take the wee nut off at the front, here's the wee nut here, okay, and basically the front cover cap will come off, right? Once you take the cover cap off, basically where the extension is from the previous old wire is, where this goes in, it feeds into here, inside behind that spring, and comes down there, out for the bottom end, and basically it comes out the bottom here. And obviously you've got your cover cables that will connect onto the end of it as well, okay? Now it's just the same process for actually putting the new one back in, and basically you just need to open the cover case, tweak this out so it eventually comes out. Once you get out, just pull it and keep pulling it and pulling it and pulling it till it's all out, and basically you get the new cable and do the exact opposite of what you've just did. Feed it inside the hole, through the gap, through this part here, which obviously I'm not experienced in bike parts, but obviously through here, and then once it's fed through, you start feeding it through the bike frame, and that's the first stage, is it? So I've now managed to feed the new wire into the shifter, a wee bit of tweaking and bending the wire just a slight wee tad, just to squeeze it back into the hole inside here, okay? And it's the exact same process as taking the wire out. And you obviously just grab the end of this wire and just keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling until you come to the end of the wire. As you see, here's a wee bit here, okay? That'll be some sort of retainer or a pressure nut. Yeah, at the end it just stops it from pulling right through. You just basically tuck it in and pull it in, and there you go. And that's as simple as that, to put the wire in to connect it into the SRAM 11 gear shifter, okay? Now all you need to do is cut your cables to length. These ones here, obviously I'll put blue ones in it. I'm now putting black ones in it, okay? To go with the bike as well. Yeah, so it'd be better with the black ones, I believe. And cut the cables to size and basically feed it all right down to the back of the hub and basically into the derailleur at the back, okay? And then it's a matter of just indexing the gears in again, eh? And that's another learning process that I'm learning now. And that's as simple as that. Once you put it all back on the bike, there you got that on it. Just put your retaining cap back on, put your screw inside, and just turn it up like so. And it's as simple as that. That's it on, so it's all ready to go back on the bike with the wire. Obviously you just got your cover protective wire protectors for whatever size you need on your bike. With this frame here, with the project bike that I'm building just now, obviously it feeds round our side and it feeds into, I believe, this wee hole here, okay, and it feeds into the frame and comes right all the way down here out the bottom part, which is here, feeds right round to the back, over the side and into the derailleur and coming in where it needs to be indexed in. Okay, so hopefully that's actually helped someone and made it a lot easier. It still needs a chain, I know that as well. I've got the chain in the bag there, as you can see. I just need to learn how to actually get the right length of chain for the right size of wheel next. just a wee quick guide obviously. With these new type of frames, usually the 2000s, I don't know how far it's been going back since now, but obviously these new ideas where they're basically feeding, most of the cables now go through the frames now, as you have these corner bits here as well. So basically the frames, the wires can actually now be hidden through the frames if you really want to, if you want that minimalist look without wires all over your bicycle. Okay, feeding the brake cable through, as I said, sorry, the gear cable through, and basically I'm feeding it through the frame from the bottom end on this side somewhere. Yeah, there we go. 2 seconds, 1 moment. Somewhere on this side, I believe. Obviously it's gone through here anyway. There we go. Sorry, I knew it'd be somewhere. Feeding it through, okay? You're actually feeding it through, and you feed it up through the frame, basically up to the top. Now you get to this point here. Now you're obviously trying to feed it through here. Now the best bit of advice I can give you is probably use a magnet, because it's steel wires. Use a magnet and it basically hooks it at the other end and catches it at the other end, and that allows you to pull it through. Okay? So hopefully that makes the job a wee bit easier when you're trying to do these fitments. We use a magnet to fit through the hole and basically pick up through the other side. Another angle, sorry. And basically, you fed the cable through, use the magnet to catch it at the other end, put this, I don't know the bike parts, as I know I'm not professional. I just hope to maybe give you some guide and show some video illustrations and how, maybe if you've got the same sort of issues, if you're not a bike expert, anyone can kind of do it at the end of the day. But you put this retaining nut back in, and basically you cut the cable to size, and you must make sure the protective cable, when you're cutting it and you're feeding it all along here and down here, you're not wanting too much of the protective cable hanging out, because otherwise you're just going to have a cable flapping and there's a high chance it'll catch onto the wheel. So you want to cut the right length. So I've measured it from this corner to each and every rivet, there, there and there, and up to the point where it connects here in the derailleur, okay? So I've roughly guessed that that's roughly the amount that I probably need, rather than wasting the whole cable to try and fit it and it ends up dangling. Be way too much. So basically with these new types of bikes, you slowly just take your time with it, feed the frame through, feed the protective cable through into the wire, and feed it into the inside. If you just give me 1 moment, I'll pull it in and out. There we go. There we go. So if I pull it in, as you can see, there's it connecting just now. Okay, that's it connecting just now. And obviously if you think you get your cable ties and you start connecting it, and you get your cable ties, start chaining it up there, and start tying it up here. Sorry, I say chain up there. Tying it right along. You keep going, just basically till it reaches into your part down here, okay, into the derailleur, and then that's you. Everything's all connected and ready to go, and that's you all done. So hopefully this has been helpful to someone. Also just need to stand the bike up right. The stage I've not actually done yet, as you've known, I've not indexed it in yet because that's due to lack of experience just now. I'm doing a training course supposedly next week, so hopefully I'll learn how to actually index it in. But I believe once you feed the wire through, it's a simple process. You feed the flat wire through into the nut, but the problem you've actually got from lack of experience of not being a bike mechanic is basically where do you start off and what cog of the cassette when you're actually putting your chain back on, and to actually go through all the gears and how to set it up correctly. That's the bit I'm lacking experience in. I've tried to do it myself a couple of times, but I don't know if I had it in the wrong order, with the shifter in the wrong gear or the wrong level, where it's to be up at high or low at the point where when you're actually installing it, like a low gear or a high gear when you're actually installing the wire. But I suppose it depends if you're starting off on the cog, you're starting off on the high cog or the low cog. And basically once you put it all together, indexed it in, and the bike should be running fine. So hopefully this should help somebody out there. I'm no bike expert, I just want to say this is a project bike, as I said to you. Sorry it's in the house, there's nowhere else I can do this in the garage just now because the weather's just atrocious out there. I've done absolutely everything myself, from buying the frame, as I said, to buying the wheels. Well, as people have seen my recent video, sorry I'm a bit stuttery there, that the last bike I had was a first project bike and it cost about £700 to £800 to build, and then I ended up getting more pieces for it, and then I ended up getting to the point where I just realised I've got enough to build another frame, and I thought, well, this time I need the proper frame this time rather than the wheels or anything like that, and then I ended up buying wheels again cheaply. But what I discovered was, building this bike, this was a lot easier because just by pure luck that these are the right wheels with the boost hubs that fit in this type of frame. As you can see here, and you can see here, these are called boost hubs, right? Where just the axle goes right through the bike and through to the other side, and it's easy to connect and disconnect the bike with the wheels. Okay, these wheels were originally on my project bike on a previous video. Okay, and basically I butchered them to fit. They actually fitted, but then I went and got another set of wheels, as I've seen in another video as well. I realised that both bikes and both frames and both wheels were better if they just got swapped around, and even the tyres as well, because these are 4.8 tyres, the other ones are 4-point tyres, and they weren't fitting vice versa. So I had to strip all the tyres off, strip the discs off because they're bigger discs on the other bike, and swap them all right round again because they're still 26-inch wheels. But it's because of the hubs. The hubs are the main thing in building a project bike. You need to check the hubs when you've got a frame, because there's all different types of frames out there. But lucky, not by professional eyes, I actually pulled this off, and I actually realised I had the boost hubs here. Saved me a lot of money with the botched job I did. It'd be a lot easier to spend 4 hours just swapping the parts round on each of the bikes and making the both bikes right, from a project bike that was a wee bit dangerous. Not too bad, but it was still psychable. But it went, as you can see, my projects in one of them. But this one here, obviously this is the finishing one, and basically this is all went together easy. It's dead easy actually building a bike if you stick to the one manufacturer. In fact, there's nothing really hard about it. It all just literally connects. If you follow the manufacturer's instructions, it literally just all connects. The problem you've got is when you start mixing manufacturer company names and basically going there on eBay and trying to think you can just botch a bike together, which I've learned not today. Botch a bike together, aye, you can do it and you stand proud and say, I built that bike, but I'll tell you what, it was a lot of money to build that bike to get it running. But this bike, believe it or not, the Trek was actually a lot cheaper to build than the previous bike for some strange reason. I don't know why. It's probably all in, it's probably cost about 500 quid. The time I get it all done up and I fix the other one, because I took the parts off the other one to put on this one, so I'll now need to get a derailleur for the other one now and another chain to put on the other bike for it to reset that one up. But hopefully be trained to do the gears myself by next week, and I'll be able to know how to do it myself. I know how to do the hydraulic brakes as well, how to fit them. I know how to get the bite on them as well, putting the 5.1 fluid in it as well, brake fluid, to help to stop them. I've learned a lot of things, so don't ever let us put you off for building a project. I'm a learner here just now. Be patient when I say this, obviously. You've stuck at this far to listen to what I've got to say here. I've got no experience in building bikes, but I just always wanted to do it. I learned the hard way for the first year and a half, collecting parts, and then realising all one to fit in. And then to the point where I realising stick to the one manufacturer. By pure luck, it was the wheels that managed to swap round. But obviously, just by pure luck, the wheels managed to fit, no bother at all. Or this was going to be another one getting butchered at the back. They obviously, in layman's terms, for somebody who's got no experience, to basically make the wheel fit. Or it was either that, I'm going to spend 185 quid for each of the hubs for a boost hub, because they're expensive. Where I realised just swapping the wheels is a hell of a lot easier job. So hopefully this has helped folk out there in building their own bike. As I said to you, I'm a novice, never built one before. It's not actually hard once you get into it, it's just having a bit of knowledge. But when you start mixing manufacturing parts, I guarantee you're going to get problems, without a doubt. So hopefully this has helped people out there in building their own bike.